What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is finally time that we discuss one Senate race that I don't think I've made a single video on so far this cycle. That is right, folks, it is time that we discuss the 2022 Senate election happening in New Hampshire. This is the first, folks. We don't really make many videos on a state like New Hampshire. We made maybe one last year, but this is the first one dedicated to the Senate race, at least I could think of. As well, this is a potential flip for the Republicans. And I do have a serious expectation that Republicans can flip this race with the correct candidate. That is right, folks. I do think there is one candidate in this race that can easily win it. The other one, people are overhyping him. I'm going to warn some people, this candidate that a lot of people are shilling for on Twitter, it's not going to end pretty. Or I don't think he's going to come close to winning. But the candidate that I prefer, I personally do believe, will win this fall if he's the nominee. Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash a like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And also join the channel. That is right, folks. For just 10 cents a day, you can join Real American Politics today. All right, folks, let's get right into it. So, obviously, the New Hampshire Senate race is kind of an under-talked about race. And I think the reason for that is simple. Trump lost the state by, 7.5 points or so in 2020. But in my opinion, folks, I think you should personally ignore this result. I know that may be me being biased, sure, but hear me out for a second. 2020 was such a weird national environment where the entire Northeast trended Democrat when traditionally you would think otherwise, because outside of New Hampshire, most of the Northeast tend to trend for the incumbent. Now, New Hampshire is one of those states that I think all of you understand. They hate incumbents. They vote against the incumbent president every single time. Well, people like Reagan won the state, but they win by significantly, less margins compared to the first time around. And we saw this state, trend significantly Democrat in 2020. I mean, you look at this here, Clinton won the state by around, less than 0.3 of a point. Here, Biden won it by around 7.5. What really happened was, the entirety of the Northeast trended Democrat, plus Biden getting some ridiculous margins in the quote-unquote metros of New Hampshire. I wouldn't really call them metros, just where the bigger townships are in New Hampshire, places like Dover, Concord, Manchester, but also Trump kind of just falling flat in these other rural precincts. I mean, look at a lot of these townships, most of them trended significantly Democrat. Albany Township, for example, Trump lost by 13 in 2020. You look here, Trump lost it by around 3 in 2016. So that's kind of the gist of it. It's kind of misleading to use this map. And also you look at, why it trended Democrat. This age demographic stuff. I know it's exit poll data. It's not exactly perfect. And quite frankly, it could be a bit misleading. But you see that, Trump got almost won the 18 to 24 vote, but at the same time, lost the 65 plus vote by 13 points in New Hampshire. Compare that to national environment, and you get the point. I truly think what happened was coronavirus scared off a bunch of these old Republican voters. Like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. I'm going to vote Democrat because they promised to bring stability and, end the COVID pandemic and all that crap. I truly think that's what happened, especially in a state like New Hampshire. I mean, the fact that, 18 to 24 almost flipped to Trump, but 65 plus won so dramatically Democrat, it kind of indicates something like that did truly happen. Now, there are other factors, for example, like the economy and all that stuff, but also there's foreign policy. This is a big issue with New Hampshire. If you don't know New Hampshire politics, they're vehemently anti-war. Every single time they've, tended to vote for the more anti-war candidate. It's a fact. I mean, remember 2000, Bush won this state by, I think, 2 points. 2004, you had the anti-incumbent vote, and you had the war in Iraq, which didn't bode too well in a state like New Hampshire. Again, it's a very anti-war state. They don't want to, to be involved with foreign policy and all that good stuff. And with Trump, he really, I think, dropped the ball on the whole foreign policy thing. I mean, a lot of voters in 2016 feared, Trump was going to get us in World War III or something crazy like that, when reality was probably Clinton that would have done. I mean, look at Biden. I mean, we're almost on the brink of war with several countries. But the point is, Trump really did not, hammer home the idea that, hey, I brought peace around the world. The Middle East, for the first time in years, there isn't a terrorist attack every 5 seconds or something like that. There is some stability. And you elect me for 4 more years, we'll continue it. Really did not push that message enough in New Hampshire. And speaking of the anti-war stuff, that's where the candidates come into play. Now, here's the thing about the Republicans. They do got a candidate that I firmly believe can win this Senate race. I'm, of course, talking about Chuck Morse. This guy is the Senate president of the New Hampshire State Senate. And overall, he is pretty good on the issues. He's not, like a cringe, Chris Sununu shill. He actually kind of pushes Sununu to the right at certain times. He is solid on the issues, and I do think he's a perfect fit for the state of New Hampshire. Now, a lot of people are going to say, but Don Bolduc, oh, all that crap. People, this is the issue with Don Bolduc. I have major problems. Does he have good rhetoric on some things? Yeah. But then you realize, oh, wait. He wanted us to put boots on the ground in Ukraine. He wanted to start World War III with Russia over this Ukraine complete nonsense. People, what do you think's going to happen when, Hassan, a certain Democrat who, not necessarily a strong candidate. Remember, she only won by 1,000 votes, and you could say some things happened that night. That's all I will say. But the point is, Hassan could bash Don Bolduc's, campaign completely with the whole, you want us involved to start World War III and crap like that. Now, will she? I don't know, but there's such a big risk, and when voters hear what he said about foreign policy, and we've seen this multiple times, it's not going to end too well. And again, could he be best on the issues, for other things? Yeah. But in a state like New Hampshire, you really can't. It's not going to really work well if you're that, that much of a hawk on foreign policy. It just won't. And also, you look at the polling data, again, polling data, not the best. Basically, from every single poll I've seen, Chuck Morse overperforms Don Bolduc. There's a couple here and there that he doesn't. But look at Data for Progress. Overperforms Don Bolduc by a point. University of New Hampshire. This was in April where Bolduc had a higher name recognition when you look at it. University of New Hampshire had Hassan up by 1. Morse up by 2. You start looking at this, and even all the way back then, even when Morse had not the highest name recognition, yes, he is a state Senate president, he is overall polling higher than somebody like Don Bolduc, who so far has not won a single poll. And from what I've seen, he's only come once within the margin of error. As for Chuck Morse, there's been multiple times he's been within the margin of error. The Phillips Academy poll, Data for Progress, etc. So there is a serious shot that Chuck Morse, who, yes, maybe he's a bit libertarian on some policies. What do you expect? It's New Hampshire. Some fiscal policies, yes, he's a bit more libertarian. But I would rather sacrifice some fiscal issues, all right? Who, by the way, Morse is good on social issues. When you really look at it, he is solid on the issues of abortion, all that good stuff. I would rather have somebody like Chuck Morse, who I know for a fact would win this race. I firmly believe he would win this race. Over somebody like Bolduc, who, yeah, there's some good rhetoric about him, but there's a risk of, his campaign blowing up, and, well, he doesn't do anything. So I think this is a situation where I think overall, Morse is the best candidate for this race. I think he's a perfect fit for New Hampshire. He's won elections there before, and I just think Bolduc, just not the right candidate for the state of New Hampshire. Now, if this was a state like, West Virginia, Ohio, we could discuss it, right? I have some very questionable things about him, about his own foreign policy and stuff like that. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.